Welcome back to Pontos, Fathom, Hobbies. This is Battlestar Galactica Season 1, Episode 3. We will do a quick recap of Turn 2, and then we'll jump right into Turn 3. We've got our handy board game rulebook here. Before we start, again, quick shout out to our sister channel, Pontos Fathom Press. Help support the channel. You can pick up William Mitchell's Dead Sons 11 and The Locksmith of Quanta, books 1 and 2 of the Locksmith saga. We talked a little bit about Dead Sons 11. We read from the back cover of both of these. Locksmith of Quanta, the quick intro to this is the table of contents. You've got the Dead Space Gods, Virginia Ballard, the Quorum of Quanta, Melchizedek, the Oracle of Siwo, the Greys, Virginia's Dream, Giordano Bruno, the Anar, the Memory Wheels, the Prince of Pensathalia, Among the Stones, the Order of Melchizedek, the Bad Space Gods, the Inquisition, the Quantum Tumbler, Reunited, the Doors of Perception, Genealogy, Archaeology, and Home. So check this out. Kind of in the tradition of the Locksmith is kind of like a Doctor Who, kind of like an H.G. Wells time traveler mashup. This is the second volume. You can check out the first volume. Both of the links are below if you want to support the channel. Help us a lot. You can also support us by joining our Patreon. We'll have lots of polls, special content. I will be taking readings from these books. If you want to become a member on the Patreon, you can read the PDFs and also hear the audiobook version. Also can support us by liking, subscribing, sharing, and ringing the bell. Let's get on to Battlestar Galactica Turn 3. We'll do a quick recap of Turn 2. Last turn, we were able to Admiral Adama, still President and Admiral. We had Sharon and Boomer both launched Vipers. We had avoided several Cylon detector sabotage, guilt by collusion, a couple of crisis cards that we made our way through. We revealed that Adama is not a clone. Kara Thrace Starbuck is not a clone. We're going to do a reveal of each of them by turn, just to make it exciting. Obviously, this is a walkthrough. It's not as exciting as a 6-player game, but you know, I think it's good simulation. Hey, leave some comments below if you have some suggestions. Let's do a quick recap of the Galactica. Fuel's at 7, food's at 7, morale's at 9, population is at 7. Where our jump clock is on the third rung here, so 2 more and we can auto jump. We've got 2 out of the 4 to get to our destination. So 4 will activate the sleeper agent phase. So coming up on that, and let's jump into turn 3. So top of the order, William Adama, Admiral and President of the human fleet. Diminished down to level 7. So remember in the series they used to keep the clock running. Rosalind used to have a running count of how many humans were still alive. I mean, you get the idea of that from this clock, right? And all these factors are in the series, right? The fuel episodes where the fuel was running out the Tilium mines, and when a chief does that Marco Silvio speech from Berkeley about throwing the bodies on the machines. How odious, when the machine becomes so odious. He was talking about the university at Berkeley was so odious in that human students were like a product. They were just like a raw material to churn out a university product. And the protesters were quite against that. And they used that analogy for Chief Tyrrell sort of starting a union against the unhuman conditions and on the Tilium mining ship. And that weird idea that, you know, even in the time of civil unrest, that's when we have to defend rights the most, kind of. I mean, there's only 50,000 humans, and I think as Battlestar clicks on in the series, the human population goes down and down, especially after Caprica. I think there's a big cut in the population. Okay, enough of that. Turn 3. William Adama will get his cards. So he can get leadership and tactics cards to add to his pile. Okay, so he's got a number of cards here. So first off, he's got his cards, got his skill cards. Second of all, movement step. I think Adama can stay in the command. He can activate up to 2 one-man Vipers as an action. He's got 2 of them activated now, so that's fine. Action step. He has those 2 Vipers activated. Let's just check out his skills. At the start of his turn, he draws a quorum card. Oh, that's his action. He can draw at the start of the game, draw 1 quorum card, and he can draw an action of drawing a quorum card. So let's see what he has in the quorum cards right now. He has a rest order, and he has a rest order. Let's have him do an action of drawing another quorum card. So he can draw another quorum card. Food rationing. Estimated the current population is 45,265. Will require a maximum 82 tons of grain, 75 tons of meat, 119 tons of fruit, 304 tons of vegetables per week. Roll a dice 6. If 6 or higher, gain 1 food and remove this card from the game. Otherwise, no effect. Okay, that's a pretty good action. Maybe he'll do that next time, and we can raise our food back up by 1. That's a great ace in the hole. We can try that. It's pretty good odds. So let's keep that one there. Next move is the crisis step. So we grab the top card off of the crisis deck and check it out. And we get, boarding parties. Okay. So first of all, we have a base star that gets activated. So Cylon base star. Let's bring the card up just to show you guys. So first of all, we've got the base star gets activated. Second of all, we've got 4 Cylon Raiders and 4 heavy raiders, and we place 3 civilian ships on the board. So we'll leave this here. We will put the Cylon base star here, and we will get from our tray four Cylon raiders. This is like those scenes in Battlestar where there's like an infinite number of Cylons with it's like the Iraqi war footage, right? Do you remember that footage? I mean, Battlestar Galactica was definitely a product of the Bush era, and there was those Baghdad bombing videos that we saw in horror, and some of that visual nature was captured by the creators of this show to sort of parallel the horrors of that war, sort of turn it into a moral lesson. Okay, so this is one of those kinds of attacks in which the Cylons are they've emerged out of jump. They're fully bombarding Battlestar Galactica. And let's see what else is on the card. So activate the Raiders, and we're going to place 3 civilian ships. 1, 2, and 3. So we've got additional Dratus signals for all these ships. Let's have the Dratus all looking up. Okay. Special rule, surprise assault, there are no Vipers in this setup. That means we don't set up any Vipers, we just have to launch Vipers. Well, Sharon and Boom are already launched, and there are two Vipers ready to launch, so we're going to activate these Heavy Raiders, and we'll get to those next. Okay, so activate Cylon ships. Cylon ships are activated according to the crisis card, so these are activated. And now this is the action that takes place. Attack a Viper in the area, unmanned if able. There's no Vipers in the area. Destroy a civilian ship that's in the area, no civilian ships. Move towards civilian ships. If tied, move clockwise. So these two will move toward these civilian ships, right? Which Boomer can come and encounter, okay? So they moved toward, and these two will move toward so they never attack and they always move toward. So these move toward, and they're going to have these Vipers for next round. So they do not attack this round. They just move forward. So that's where we leave this. Okay, so those guys have moved forward. They do not attack, automatically destroyed, no die roll. I think, is that on next turn? I think that has to be a next turn. Let's just double check the rule. You guys let me know, when we move into the space, are these automatically destroyed or do we wait to the next turn? So activating Cylon, you can let me know in the comments, guys. Activating Cylon Heavy Raiders. Okay, so activating Heavy Raiders. Heavy Raiders never attack. They always move toward the nearest space area containing a Viper launch icon. If a Heavy Raider starts its movement in a space toward the Viper launch icon, the Centurions on it board Galactica. Okay, so they're moving toward those. So these two have moved toward this heavy launch icon, actually, right? So whenever they are Centurion tokens on the boarding party track, when the Centurions form a Heavy Raider boarding Galactica, the Heavy Raider is removed from the game board. Oh, if it starts in a space. So these have to wait till next turn. So if it starts the turn in the space, they board Galactica. So that's for their next player's turn. When they start that turn, they will board. So we will leave this out for the boarding party attack, just to have that boarding party. So we got the boarding parties. We're going to have Cylons boarding Galactica, and there are no jump tokens, so we do not move the jump prep. The jump clock stays as it is, and Adama's turn is over. We move the token to Gaius Baltar. So Gaius Baltar, former president, political leader, delusional. Gets some cards. Politics, leadership, and engineering. Okay, so he's got a stack of cards here. Gaius Baltar, he has an action to look at loyalty cards, but I believe he can move as the president. I think he's going to move to weapons control to attack one Cylon ship as his action. So Gaius Baltar will move to action step. So he's moved, he's activate the location, so he's going to attack one Cylon ship with the radar. Unit attacked is a Cylon well, why does he have Galactica attack the base star? 7. Unit attacked base star with Galactica damaged. So we'll take a damaged token for the base star and place the damaged token. Let's see what this damaged token is. This base star, the weapons are damaged. So that was the attack that Baltar did. So that was a great move on Baltar's part. He's almost heroic. So imagine Baltar running to fire on the ship. That's kind of funny. Okay, so action step is done. Let's move to activate the crisis step. We get Crippled Raider. Contact single raider, some telltales. Seems to be flying in circles. Felix Gata. So you can see a crippled raider. This is that episode where there was some damaged raider flying in. Maybe it was piloted by Kara Thrace. So current player chooses jump preparation. Track by 1. Pass, fail. Okay, so pass, fail. So current player chooses. Or we can do a pass or fail. So if we pass, we're going to get okay, let's try to pass this one. It's a 10. So first we're going to grab 2 cards out of the Destiny deck and place them here. Then we're going to go around the board. So Gaius is here. Start with Adama. He can put cards in. Okay, Adama places cards. Baltar. Oh wait, Baltar will place. This one in. Kara Thrace will place Saul Ty will place Chief Galen will place and Sharon will place okay, we'll shuffle these up and we will put them out in order. So -3 and -3, 4, 5, 6 and +4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Okay, -6 and 16 is 10, so we pass. And Crippled Raider, increase the jump preparation track by 1. Okay, so we're getting closer to jump. So that was a good move. So Gaius Baltar's turn almost done. Activate Cylon ships. We've got Raiders are activated. So again, beginning of the turn, Cylon's board as well. So the Cylon's board, the ship, and Raiders are activated. So the Raiders will attack fighters in the area, destroy a civilian ship in the area, move towards civilian ship. So they're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. They move towards civilian ship. Okay? These two raiders taken off the board. 2 Cylons are placed. There are 2 Cylons are placed in the hangar deck, I believe. 2 Cylons are placed in so we place a Cylon token, 2 Cylon tokens on the boarding party, right? Each Centurion token moves 1 space toward human lost space. If the Centurion token reaches the end of the track, the Cylons win. The human players can attempt to destroy Centurions by activating the armory location on the board game. So we put 2 tokens here, and the humans have to activate the armory. So these get taken back off the board. We have 2 Cylons on the boarding party track. So we've got Cylons on board Galactica, wreaking havoc with the Galactica. And these are raiders, so activated. So this card is completed now. And then we can move on to the activate the auto jump. So again, we have a jump. So auto jump happens. All the because we've made it to auto jump, all the FTL is automatically moved. So let's make a roll for the auto jump. 4. So we've made the jump. That means everything is cleared. Kara and Sharon are back in the hangar bay. Their raiders are returned. We've made a jump with Cylons on board, however. So these are all cleared. And we've reset the jump. So we've made a jump. There's Cylons on board the ship, which is not a good sign. But it's good because we've cleared space. And this is just like in Battlestar as well. This is awesome. So we've made the jump. Now the thing is, because we've made a jump, we also have to pick the we have to reveal a location card, and because this is happening on a destination card, so we just have to pick a destination card here. We don't get to do it as Commander Adama, so we just pick this. Deep space, we lose 1 fuel and 1 morale. Okay, so now we're on 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we activate the sleeper agent phase at the end of the round. So we're going to lose 1 fuel, and we're going to lose 1 morale. Okay, so that is the end of Gaius Baltar's turn. So that was quite an active turn. Let's move on to Kara Thrace's turn. So Kara moves. Kara gets her cards, which are Tactics, Politics, Leadership, or Engineering. Okay. Okay, so Expert Pilot, when you start a turn, you may take 2 action steps for your action. When a player chooses you with the Admiral Quarters location, reduce the difficulty by 3. Okay, so she's insubordinate, so she can do that if she wants. Okay, so it's Kara Thrace's turn. She can do movement, and she will, again, she loves this. She's going to go out on a Viper and start to patrol, and she will move up to here. So, Kara Thrace's moved back. Action step, she gets to move again, so she moved. She just flew ahead 1. And let's have the crisis card. So her crisis card is Rescue Caprica Survivors. This is awesome. So Kara Thrace is off in the Viper. She gets the Rescue Caprica Survivors. The Cylons have a plan for Caprica, but they haven't killed everyone. I think our first order of business has to be planning the rescue mission back to Caprica, Kara Thrace. President chooses -1 fuel, -1 food, +1 population, or -1 morale. Well, I think we should get the... I think the president will choose to have the -1 food, -1 fuel, but +1 population, because I think we can get the morale back. Well, we can get +1 food from this. So let's see. If we minus food, 1. We minus fuel, 1. But we plus population, 1. We get some people back from Caprica. I like plus population is hard to come by. And we can get our food back up by 1 if he plays this on his turn. So we will keep that. That's a great play. So, so yeah, that's where we'll stay with that one. We also, there is no base star, so we don't activate the Cylon. You notice there's a Cylon on this, so we don't have to activate that because there's no base star in sight. But we do have to play the sleeper agent phase. So let's check out the sleeper agent phase. So with sleeper agent, we need to check out the sleeper agent. Prepare for sleeper agent. It is important for human players to keep in mind that events that they do not start as a Cylon, they may change during the sleeper agent phase. At the start of the game, may be a good strategy. It may be a good strategy for the humans to avoid doing too well, because one of them may become a Cylon. Okay, so let's check out the sleeper phase. Combat, security, board actions, skill checks, skill cards, title cards, crisis step, action step, losing step, turn game, let's find the sleeper phase. Where is sleeper phase? I'm just checking on the sleeper phase, guys. Leave a quick note below about the sleeper phase. Okay, sleeper agent phase. Okay. Once the fleet has traveled to at least 4 destinations, each player, including the revealed Cylon, is dealt 1 card from the top of the loyalty tick. If a player receives a You Are a Sympathizer card, then you must immediately reveal it and resolve it. Okay, so let's go through. So they will play. Every player receives another card. Okay, so they all receive another card. Each player receives 1 more card. So, does anyone have a sympathizer card? Chief Tyrrell has a sympathizer card. You are a sympathizer card. If at least 1 resource is a half full or lower, you are moved to the brig. If at least 1 resource is half full or lower. None of our resources are half full or lower. So otherwise you become a revealed Cylon player. You do not receive a Super Crisis card and may not activate the Cylon fleet location. So Chief Tyrrell becomes a revealed Cylon player. So what does that mean? So, sympathizer. In addition to human Cylon players, you may be a sympathizer inside the fleet. The You Are a Sympathizer card represents a human or Cylon that wishes to side with others at the other team and is only used in a 4 to 6 player game. This card is not added to the loyalty deck until after the initial loyalty cards have been dealt out. A player resolve this must immediately resolve it. If at least one resource is at half or lower the red zone, the player is in the brig. This card is then treated as You Are Not a Cylon. If every resource is more than half full, then this player immediately is revealed as a Cylon player for the remainder of the game and follows the turn steps described under Reveal Cylon Players. The player discards down to 3 skill cards. Okay, so Tyrell resolves down to 3 skill cards. So let's give him... can resolve these 3 and discard these. Next, he loses titles, so he's no longer Chief. He's just Galen. Resurrect. The player moves his character token to the Resurrection ship. Oh, this is awesome. There you go. Galen. Oh, Chief Galen goes to Resurrection. Action, you may discard your Super Crisis cards to draw new ones. Okay, fine. Receive Super Crisis card. The player receives 1 random Super Crisis card. It says he does not reveal the Super Crisis card. And then end turn. Player ends a turn. The current player token is past the player on the left. So, note the player who reveals himself as a Cylon does not draw a Crisis card at the end of the turn or any of the future turns. See revealed Cylon player turns below. Okay, so the revealed Cylon player turns below are as follows. Draw skill cards, movement card, and action step. There is no Crisis, activate Cylon ship. But he does get to draw a Super Crisis card. Okay, so he can draw 1 Super Crisis card for later. So let's just take one of these and we'll just place it here. He has a Super Crisis card here and he can play that later. Let's just reveal that for him. So, oh no, he may never activate a Super Crisis card. Okay, so he is just... kind of nothing. So he's off there on the fleet. He's just kind of a hanger-oner. So we've revealed Adama was not a Cylon, but he's got a new card. We haven't revealed anyone else yet, but Galen is revealed as a sympathizer. Okay, so fine. So that's that step. So then Kara Thrace will reveal... Okay, so that's the Rescue Caprica Survivors. We've finished that. And no Cylons on the board. Kara Thrace is out on patrol, and we will move the jump clock 1 forward. You may discard your Super Crisis card to draw a new one. So he doesn't get to do Super Crisis, so that's just tough luck for Chief Tyrell. He's a Cylon sympathizer. End of story. Okay, so that's him. Okay. That is the end of Kara Thrace's turn. Let's move to Saul Ty's turn. So Saul Ty gets to pick leadership and tactics cards. Okay, and then he also... We're out of leadership cards, so let's just restack some leadership cards here. Shuffle those in. Okay. So meanwhile, while we're doing that, Saul Ty, he's a Cylon Hatred. He can declare martial law. And you can play skill cards. Anything interesting up here, President's Office. You have President draw 1 quorum card. Maybe Adama will go off to take a flight over in the Husker Viper, fly over to the President's office, because now that he's president, But I don't think he ever should be off Galactica, but let's see. Okay, so the next role for Colonel Ty is movement. He will stay in the command. Crisis step, he'll take the top crisis card. Rescue mission. Roger that, Boomer. Search and rescue ops are underway for Starbuck. Bring Hot Dog in. The old man wants to talk to him. Anastasia Dwala. So Admiral chooses 1 fuel and destroy 1 raptor, or -1 morale and the current player is sent to sick bay. -1 morale, or -1 fuel and destroy 1 raptor. I think -1 to morale. Admiral chooses, and the current player is sent to sick bay. That's great. So Colonel Ty has to go to sick bay because he's a drunk. Okay, so he's off to sick bay. The Viper is ignored, and we move the clock forward 1, and that will be the end of Colonel Ty's turn. Colonel Ty can do an action. He may draw 1 skill card during his rescue. President title to the Admiral. Does he have it? Yeah, so maybe I guess he has an action that he can do. He's going to risk 1 raptor. Let's let him roll this one. So he will risk 1 raptor to take a look at the crisis card. So 1 raptor comes out. We got a 4, which is 3 or higher. So we keep the raptor. And 4 or higher means we can take a look at the top crisis card. Jump computer failure. Let's leave it on the top. I think that's a good one. So we burned off this 1 card, but that's a good use for Saul. Gets to do an action. He's already done his Declare Martial Law Act. And that's that. Finally, prepare for jump step. The crisis card that he did pick did have a jump on it, so we can move the jump up 1 more calculation. And that's the end of Saul Ty's turn. Let's move to Chief Galen. So Chief Galen is now in the resurrection ship. He is as a Cylon now. Chief Galen is Cylon. Let's look at his turn again. So revealed Cylon player turn. Draw skill cards. He may draw skill cards from any 2 decks, so he'll grab 1 and 1. He has 2 skill cards. He can move to another Cylon location. So let's see. Okay, so if he will move to the Cylon Caprica location, and he will draw 2 crisis cards, and he will pick the one to resolve and discard the other one. So send survey team or jump failure. So he will do the send survey team. He will cause them to react to this crisis. And he will stack his card. So we get 2 cards from the Destiny deck. He will also add a card in for the opposing color here. And then everyone else will do the same. So everyone will kind of go through and put their cards in to sort of win this condition, if possible. Starbuck checking out her cards. Colonel Ty. Colonel Ty will go. Okay, so let's take a look at these. We've got 1, 2, 3, 7, -7, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 -7 is fail. The current player is sent to sick bay and destroy 1 raptor. So, does the Cylon get to go to sick bay? They cannot be sent to sick bay or the brig. So, that's basically just burn through a bunch of cards. Basically, that's all that does. So we burn through a bunch of cards, which is kind of a good Cylon tactic, I guess. And then send survey team, we move the jump computer up 1. And Galen's turn is done. Lastly, it's Boomer. Boomer is the last player. During sleeper agent phase, you're dealt 2 loyalty cards instead of 1. So let's move. She actually gets that last loyalty card. I missed that. So she gets the last loyalty card. Let's just take a look at hers. Wow. She is moved to the brig location. So Sharon is now moved to the brig. So she is moved to the brig. And this is the point where probably everybody is screaming that she's a Cylon, she's a Cylon, she's a Cylon. We still have Saul Ty, maybe a Cylon. Gaius Baltar, maybe a Cylon. We've got a couple of cards that haven't been revealed, so we can kind of go through these. During the sleeper agent phase, let's see what happens. During the sleeper agent phase, if the player is your sympathizer, if he's revealed a Cylon. Okay, so we don't have revealed revealed Cylons right now, and so Boomer will perform an action. You may not move, draw crisis cards, or add more than 1 card to skills check. Pass the skill check to move to any location. So the skill check is 7. So she can add 1 card to her skills check. So she will add a 4 to her skills check. So Brig, how do you pass the skills check? So she gets to move 1 card. The Brig. How do we play the Brig? Let me just double check again. Playing the Brig. Guys, let me know in the comments, how do we play the Brig? How do we do the skills check for the Brig? So is it in the back? Skills checks. Skill checks for the... Skills check for the Brig. Skills check. Example, page 16. 16. Playing skills, skill check. Brig, the current player attempts to escape the brig. A 7 difficulty politics skill check is resolved. with the following results. Pass. The current player may move his character in any space. Fail. No attempt. A 7 politics tactics check. So this is politics tactics check. So politics and tactics. So we can add 1 card to this, and I think they're cumulative, so we can keep adding them. Eventually we get out, something like that. Okay, that is the end of Boomer's turn. Prepare for the jump. There is no crisis card drawn. There's no jump. So wrapping up turn 3. That was a long turn. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's move on to turn 4 up in the corner, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.